Hey guys, Vision back again with another video. This time I'm going to be looking at some easy traps to fall into, especially if you are new or going up to a new town hall level and you're pretty unfamiliar with how things should be working. So what we've got here, if I just switch through to here, is another victory for the Punishers over Brothers Blood. So it's the first time we've actually had a victory against them, but it's another victory for us. So what we're looking at is a 57-26 win. And what I wanted to talk about specifically is a trap that I've fallen into myself, especially when you see some of your favorite streamers or some people that you've seen online being really successful with an army composition and decided that you might use that for the same effect yourself. So today we're going to have a look at a couple of hits that went in. So not this particular one on Diesel, but if we go to the war events, I'm just going to very quickly as we start show just how we started. So look at this, 100%. This is the attack we're going to show on Diesel here, the 79% 1-star by a Town Hall 10 on a Town Hall 8. And we'll keep moving in the same Town Hall 10 again with a 1-star on another Town Hall 8, unfortunately. So we were running pretty perfect until I went and hit and didn't triple. But luckily for me, Ren covered for me and fixed up the mistakes that I made, and then I was able to return the favor later on down the track, which was great. So that's how clans should work in war, just so you know. So let's have a look at this hit. A Town Hall 10 dipping a Town Hall 8, and he's coming with a bit of a unique composition here. So what we're going to see is 3 Peckers, 1 also in the CC, so 4 Peckers is what he's dropping. He has a king and a queen, and he's brought in 2 drags. Not a lot of wizards, and instead of bringing in golems, he's brought giants. So it's sort of a hybrid version of what you'd see as a go wipe, which again, as a dip, I suppose should be a 3-star strategy, but realistically, often you see it as a 2-star strategy that people will use on a base that they're really not confident in tripling. But let's have a look at what happens here. As you can see, it runs almost the full 3 minutes, so it does take a wee bit of time. So giants get dropped in and are immediately distracted as is designed by that Tesla. He's brought in a lot of archers and dropped them all in the same place, essentially to create a funnel. But because his tanking is so focused at this point, they're not able to really develop much of a funnel. And then he's dropped all his wizards in at the same point. The issue being they're going to wander and stray away from the tanking that is there. Alright. King goes down, and because there is no funnel, so does the CC, and because there's no funnel, they wander immediately. 3 Peckers and the Queen, again, no funnel, start to walk the other direction. So the CC is basically doing work on those 2 drags, and the other drag is going to be taken down quite easily by the air defense. His Queen has already gone down, and King and Pecker are doing work down one side while the 3 Peckers continue on the other. And he's already missed a builder's hut on the corner. So we're going to 2 times this, because what you're going to see is all these troops start to wander around. The Peckers will start to get separated and then come back together because there's a Troll Tesla here that draws them away. Sorry if I speak far too fast. I will try and slow down. Heals have gone down to try and keep those Peckers alive, and they're going to start to move through the middle here. I'm going to 4 times it because basically the way the pathing has worked on this is they are avoiding the town hall like the plague, and they're going to continue to keep walking around in odd directions and then double back on themselves in a really strange fashion here. There we go. So a 79% 1-star never really even got close to threatening that town hall within that time frame. So unfortunate for it was J Money, and again he had 2 dip fails, and it basically came down to the fact that he chose an army composition. He used the same army composition for both, so it was a composition he was comfortable with, but he really didn't deploy it accurately enough or sensibly enough, and really didn't cater it for the bases he was facing. He probably was pretty confident going against Town Hall 8s. Unfortunately, these were not the Town Hall 8s that he was looking for. So let's roll through here. As you can see, my other account also came away pretty unscathed in this war. They didn't really bother with the others in the top 5, but they gave it a shot. Their number 3 came in with somewhat closer to a go wipe, a traditional go wipe. I was expecting another P.E.K.K.A in the CC, but there is a bit of a surprise in that CC for us. As you can see, he's got 7 giants, 15 wizards. He still brought in a dragon, and the main point for that dragon was to deal with the CC. Reasonable level king and queen, though obviously for a 10, you can see that there is that rushed aspect to it. 5 rages, which again is not the sort of composition I would be bringing in, but I think the expectation was that he would be pushing through the middle of the base and wanted to get through as quickly as possible. But let's see how that works out for him. About 2 minutes 20 of attack, and you're going to see giants, pretty much all of his giants, come down right now. And straight away they've gone through to the defenses that are on the outside, and unfortunately they've stopped tanking really anything useful. He's again dropped 9 wizards in one drop. So funneling is really not the strong suit right now. And all of those wizards have now separated off from any of their tanking. And they are being targeted by archer towers at this point. So pretty much his funneling troops and probably his highest damage dealers here, other than those 2 P.E.K.K.A s and the queen, are gone. So you're going to see now that all of his damage dealing troops are pretty much being picked off, he's finally decided to drop tanking and those 2 golems, but they are just going to get worked throughout this entire raid at this point. So I kind of want to pause it here and just clarify. I am not looking to take the piss out of anyone. I'm not looking to mock the other clan at all. The fact that they still came in and gave it a shot, at least through half of this war, and some of these guys stepped up and still wanted to push through, really good for them, basically. They were up against it. But the point I want to make is this is a trap that's easy for people to fall into. Is where you come in with an army that's a really common army, or an army that people go, hey, this is how you can get 2 stars on this base. Push through with this composition. But they have no idea how to actually deploy it in a manner that suits that composition. I've been guilty of this myself, where I have streamers that I really respect that have been really successful with army compositions, and then I've tried to mimic that, and because I haven't really understood what they're doing, I've failed miserably. And what I've had to do is start to adjust that and craft that, and I never do that in a war. I will not cookie cutter an army in a war, because every base is different, and you need to understand how the troops work. Rather than understanding, hey, this is a troop composition you can use, you need to understand this is a troop you can use, and this is how and why you can use it. Unfortunately for the team here, the Clan Brothers Blood, that just did not work for them today. They basically, it looks like they came in with what they were comfortable with, but didn't really know how to deploy effectively. So hopefully from this they can sort of come away and reassess that. So let's carry on with this raid. You're going to see the dragon come down to deal with that balloon and that lava hound. Probably needed a wizard in with that just to help a bit quicker, but that's okay. And we're going to see the P.E.K.K.A s come in, and there's the CC, a whole bunch of wizards coming in to do the work. Hound's going to pop here very quickly. Dragon is under fire, and the rage will come down so that they can try and deal with these pups as quickly as possible. Again, the deployment on the P.E.K.K.A cost him. If he had deployed the P.E.K.K.A s maybe a couple of tiles to the left, they may not have pathed out to this. Unfortunately for him, they did, and the funnel was not developed well enough. If he dropped a couple of wizards prior, then it wouldn't have been a problem. But the funnel was not developed enough that they would go in. So now he's in a bit of trouble. So Peckers have been dropped. You're going to see the king come down with them very shortly. You see the Inferno Tower just doing work. And we're going to 2 times this. King's going to come in. And at this point, the Tesla farm is going to start to pop. And as you can see, there is 1 Expo, 2 Expo, 3 Expos, along with those 2 Wizard Towers and the Archer Towers that are basically going to get to work on these troops. So push through here really quickly. Everything's just slowly going down. The last wizards have come in behind the tanking, and I just want to slow this down again. Here comes the queen, and look at this. Nothing targeting her, and she's popped the ability. And that is going to cost him probably even more than he would have expected. So everything was being tanked by the Peckers at the moment, and he's popped the queen's ability early. So now she's already finished and dealing lower damage, and she's not even going to get through this expo. This is where the ability could have been put to use, and he could have basically taken out a lot of that point defense that was going to be hassling him at the end here. And here we go, the last percentage, and that Pecker goes down. So 39%, 0 stars, and it basically comes down to the troop composition chosen and the funneling. Probably more so the funneling. So it doesn't matter if someone tells you here's a troop composition you can use and it's a guaranteed 2-star or a guaranteed 3-star at this town hall level or this town hall level. What you need to do as a clasher is understand how your troops behave, what they're there for, not just what's in the composition, but why it's there. And you don't come in with cookie cutter armies. It's something I'll never do. And you need to come in and look at the base for what's in it. And when you understand the troops, then you know how to choose a composition for that. So hopefully this has been helpful. Again, great war for Punishers. Really unfortunate, obviously, for Brothers Blood. But hopefully they can come away from this learning something about how to really work as a team in war and design their armies for the base they're facing. And then takeaway points for you guys is the exact same thing. Understand your troops. Know your troops. Don't just know compositions. Know what the troops are there for. And hopefully that'll mean that you can come away with success in war that is obviously a little more successful than a 39% 0-star. Or a dip fail on a 10v8. So until next time, keep clashing, keep having fun, and I will see you then.